Cowboys and Coffee is here, baby. We're here with the great Calvin Watkins
Yes.
who's joining us on the podcast today. Calvin, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you spending some time here with us talking Cowboys football.
I appreciate you guys. It's been a busy Monday.
Yeah,
Mm.
First,
Cowboys.
first day of legal tampering.
Yes.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
the Cowboys went and traded a 2027 fourth round pick for Rashawn Gary. They have now signed Jalen Thompson to a 3-year, $36 million contract. Had some versatility on the back end. And I know you were just at the combine. Where are you feeling? What are you feeling for the Cowboys free agency? And how does that affect what they're going to be looking at come 12 and 20 in the draft in another few weeks?
Well, as you know, the defense was historically bad last year. They gave up 511 points, the most in franchise history. So you got to fill holes, and they're changing the scheme. They're going from a 4-3 to a 3-4. So Rashawn Gary's outside backer. You can pair him up with Donovan Zaraku as outside backers. Thompson is a guy they really like. He's got the position flexibility. One of the things that was interesting from the combine is Jerry Jones had said, you know, we kind of miss a nickel corner. We had one in Jordan Lewis, right? And they let him go
Yes.
to
Yeah.
Jacksonville. So this kid Thompson, he can cover in the slot, which is what you want to see. He can also play deep safety. So the position flexibility that you need in the defense, Thompson gives you that.
So, so my thought is Rashawn Gary, it's a day three pick that they traded next
Mm-hmm.
year. He had 7.5 sacks, but kind of tailed off really the last half of the year.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
your
he
thought
did.
on the trade for him? I don't mind it for a day three pick, especially their fourth round picks are really hit or miss. What's your thoughts on getting him there for a fourth rounder?
Like you said, it was only a day three pick, right? And it's been a while since they've had a fourth round pick because they traded away all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time,
Mm.
it seems. But they needed another outside backer to go with Zaraku because he had hip surgery in the offseason, so they don't know when he's going to come back. So I don't mind it. But the thing that they have to do is they got to restructure Gary's contract. He's got 2 years left, so they got to lower that cap space so they can continue to do some business, like maybe possibly extend George Pickens or maybe get a bigger contract to the kicker, Brandon Aubrey.
Now, my question is there history between Gary and Christian Parker?
Yes, there's a little bit of history there, but more so with Marcus Dixon. Having seen him because Marcus was in
Right.
Minnesota, so
Hmm.
he saw him every year in the NFC North. And look, the Cowboys have other coaches that have also seen Rashawn Gary. I don't know if you guys saw Instagram, but I think Kenny Clark was
Correct.
very excited to kind of get his old teammate back with him. And and the thing that's interesting is Christian Parker. He wants bigger defensive ends, right? And when it comes to the outside backers, he wants bigger outside backers as well. You don't necessarily have to be fast because what he's hoping for is the front three to get pressure on the QB. And when you look at some tape of Rashawn Gary, he gets a lot of his sacks once the front three or the front four is causing all kinds of problems. Then
Yeah.
Gary comes in and finishes up the sack. So that's a good thing for them.
And just to follow up on it, and also it takes a good player away from Green Bay, which I still think that Green Bay was on a move to come up, but I think we like those role players that come in and contribute as a team guy, and
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's going to motivate him. And listen, you know, and I know, playing for that star. And listen, we haven't won a Super Bowl, but still people love playing for the star. They come out of the. Now, have you had anybody come up to you and say, I want to play for the Cowboys? Because every year it's always
You're
something.
talking about the
Yeah,
draft,
yeah,
the
the
draft.
draft. Because Miles Garrett was famous for it. Get rid of Romo and bring me here.
everybody wants to play for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even a story anymore. I remember Richard Sherman chased down Jason Garrett in the tunnel one year and says, "Come get me,"
Come, yeah,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they never got him, right? Not Richard Sherman. It was
Griff,
what's the safety? No, the
Oh, yeah.
safety.
Oh my
His
gosh.
name
Griff,
escapes me.
not
No,
No,
Griffin.
no,
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 no.
no, 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 no.
Thomas,
Earl
Earl
Thomas.
Earl
Thomas.
Thomas. Earl
Yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Earl Thomas. It's Earl Thomas. Yeah. And then one year he shot the finger at the Cowboys in the game in Seattle I was
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
So everybody wants to play for the Cowboys. That's nothing new. because they also feel like once you play for this team, when you retire, there's so many more marketing opportunities are presented to you
Right.
when you finish playing. And plus, Dallas is a beautiful city. No
Yes.
state income tax. You get more money, more bang for your buck when it comes to buying a house and that kind of thing.
Listen, I'd rather be buying my house in Dallas, Texas than Green Bay. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and people are talking about, oh, well, they're going to get rid of Rashawn Gary anyway. And there's two things. Number one,
Oh,
the Packers,
Mm.
oh,
that they're
oh,
going to get rid
oh,
of him.
oh. Sorry.
That
Yeah, they
no,
did.
yeah, they did. That they were going to move
Yeah.
on from him. Well, there's two things. They weren't getting rid of him for football reasons. They were getting rid of him because of financial reasons, right? You get Micah under contract, and like that starts to chew up your cap, which Jerry had talked about last year. And
Mhm.
now, like the way it trickles down, like you have two first rounders and Gary and Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons and like a fourth round pick. Like that doesn't seem like such a bad trade for the
It was
Cowboys.
a
And
great trade.
overall, if you
Yeah.
look at it,
Mhm.
you know, who wouldn't like Micah Parsons on their team? Of course. But he took it personally, in my opinion, the contract stuff, and it spiraled from there. And him laying on the sideline during the preseason, I don't want to go into Micah Parsons, but
Right.
my point is they had to move on, and they really made the most out of it. And because of that, they were able to end up flip that into Quinnen Williams as well. So,
Mhm.
that's really helped the Cowboys. When you were at the combine, was there any position or group of players that you feel like, wow, Dallas should be really honing in at this guy at 12 or 20 who could realistically be there? I mean, who wouldn't like Arvell Reese, but he's not making it to 12. So is there someone that you like piqued your interest or someone who they mentioned that they were really keeping an eye on for the combine?
They're at 12 and 20, so you don't know who's going to be there at 12 or 20. So they got a lot of holes. They need a safety, and they got one with Thompson today. I wouldn't mind them getting a corner. They need an inside linebacker. They need a Mike linebacker to pair it with Demarion Overshown. I wouldn't mind them getting another outside linebacker. You never know when Israel is going to come back. One of the interesting things about the draft is people like to say, "Oh, I think this guy is going to be here." This guy, they don't know, and the team
Yeah.
doesn't know.
Right.
The Cowboys like to mention we got CeeDee Lamb a couple of years ago, and he fell to
He
them.
fell. Right.
They got Micah Parsons, and because they traded down with Philly, your rival, and they get Micah. They didn't know Trayvon Diggs was going to fall to the second round, and they
Right.
got Diggs. So you really know who's going to be there in a lot of instances. They drafted Tyler Guyton, I guess 2 years ago now, and he's been a disappointment so far.
Mhm.
So we'll see who's there for them. Dak Prescott, was he fourth round pick?
Yeah.
He's facing franchise, so
Yeah.
you don't know who's going to be there at any point in the draft, and then you got to hope that these guys come through. I remember when they drafted Mozzie Smith. Remember him from Michigan?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I got PTSD from Michigan players and Gary from Michigan.
See,
So I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
my goodness
yeah.
gracious.
Let's not.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then and remember Jerry was saying he's a big, powerful man. And I see Mozzie come in, I'm like, he's not that big. And he's just
Right.
it's like one of the fat guys at the bar having a
Yeah.
drink,
Yeah.
right?
Looks like he looked like me. He looks like
It's
me.
like me.
He
Like
looks like
us.
me. Now I have a question for you. Do you feel the atmosphere in that organization that Jerry's taking a step back with his son as well? That this head coach is getting his grips around the team and running what he wants to run and picking his players. Is that part of the feel you get that Shotty's controlling the shots now?
I think all the head coaches have always had a say. If you looked at the coaching staff last year, Shotty had a tremendous amount of input on the offensive staff. And then when it came to the defensive staff, Jerry's like, let's get a veteran guy, Matt Eberflus, and let him hire his people. And this year, after he fired Flus and the rest of those guys on that staff, Jerry said, hey, I had to do something different. So he let Shotty take the lead on this. And Jerry was like, he was in on every interview that they had for the coordinator and even for the position coaches. Jerry and Steven will never take a back seat to anything. They will always let you have your voice, and they will say if the head coach says, I want this guy, we'll get him for you, But if it comes to the Micah Parsons thing, sometimes Jerry gets in the way and says, hey, I'm the owner, I could do this, right?
Right.
But a good percentage of the time, Jerry and Steven allow the coaches and Will McClay, the VP, player personnel, to do their thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's what we want.
I've always thought
Yeah.
that Jerry's greatest strength, sometimes his
Mm.
greatest weakness, is that he does listen to his guys.
Too
Sometimes,
much.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
when you have someone like Bill Parcells who's in there helping call the shots on draft picks, you end
Mhm.
up with these draft classes. Chris
Mhm.
Canty, Marion Barber, Marcus
Mhm.
Spears, DeMarcus Ware, like you start to stack Brady James year after year after year. And then when you have someone in there like Wade or Jason Garrett, they have a very particular set. Like you said, pick this guy. Jason Garrett's right kind of guy.
Right kind of guy. Yeah.
And and yeah, Jerry went above and beyond and went out and signed Kevin Hardy, who was or Greg Hardy, excuse me,
Yeah.
Mhm.
who was morally a
Yeah.
disaster and
Yeah.
didn't pan out. Think about it. Jalen Thompson signed the biggest free agent contract for the Cowboys since they signed Greg Hardy. So even that has been a change up. And Jerry was very clear. We said on our podcast a few episodes ago that he was very clear he's going to go out and spend some money. I think they know their window is the next couple of years, and they have to make do with Dak's contract.
So let me just add one thing we have as a joke. I always say 51-49, we agree with Jerry. 51-49, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're excited about this year coming up because the pieces are there to get in there slowly, and we know this Christian Parker is amazing already. There's something about him that he's got it. Now we want the trophy. That's what we want. We got it. We want the trophy. Yeah.
Well, I think regardless of his first thing, when I saw Christian Parker at the combine, I said they got to get these players,
Mm.
and he said you're right. And during the interview process, a lot of coaches would tell Jerry and Steven and even Shotty when they would ask the coach, "What do you think about the personnel?" And that coach would say, "Oh, I like this guy. I can do this, that, and the other." And he had Christian Parker. Christian Parker was like, "He can't play. He can't play. He can't play. He can't play." And they like that because you had an honest assessment of your
Exactly.
personnel.
Yep.
You don't want nobody to lie to you, and then you get into the season and you go, "I thought you said this guy could play."
Mm-hmm.
When we interviewed you. Well, I thought so. Then I get him on the field, and now I realize he can't play. So they like that Christian Parker was honest about the personnel. And the Cowboys, look, it doesn't matter what kind of scheme he has, right? He's going to have a 3-4. He's going to do the 4-eye and all that kind of jazz and whatever. On the ball players, it doesn't really matter. Matt Eberflus and Mike Zimmer, the last two coordinators, right? They're not bad coaches. They're good coaches.
Right.
Now their schemes were a little quirky. They didn't, wasn't a lot of flexibility in their scheme, which is what Christian Parker said he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But gotta give them ball players, man. And even Fluce, did not have enough ball players on that team to kind of work that defense.
Sure, and even so, even if they had Micah Parsons on that defense last year,
Might not have worked.
nothing would happen. You had safeties who had no idea. Is Micah Parsons going to play safety too? Is he getting there in 0.8 seconds to get a sack every single time? Because those guys, I mean, think about how many quarterbacks came in against the Cowboys last year. Russell Wilson looked like he was going to have a great year, and all of a sudden,
he was a 450.
and he looked like he was about to have a great season and fell to face the year.
Carolina too.
Right, the Cardinals come with a backup quarterback. It's like, wow, they really could do something. Like they didn't win a game again the rest of the season. That has to change. And you're right, they need players. And I'm glad that they've already started to at least do something. And there's some talks about maybe them trading for Jordan Brooks now, because I know the Raiders just signed Kobe Dean and Quay Walker, which is
incredible. The Cowboys like both of those players.
Correct.
Especially the Kobe Dean. They really love the Kobe Dean and Walker. They couldn't get him. And now I heard something today about they might trade Osa Digizilla, because you got like three defensive linemen. You got Osa, you got your boy Kenny Clark, right? And then you got Quentin Williams. They all get about $20 million on the cap.
Right.
So you got to reduce the cap numbers. So they're going to reduce all three of those guys. But if they can get rid of Osa for maybe say, I don't know, can you get a 3rd-round pick for Osa? Maybe a 4th-round pick? I don't know. So they got these, there's a lot of decisions they got to make, and they're still making moves.
And the cap they'll continue to do. I like them. Well, it's really a pay cut that Terrence Steele took. Right, he takes less money.
Really, it is a pay cut. Yeah,
right, more guaranteed money, but
$10 million.
Right.
$10 million less, right?
Right. They said, oh, it's a restructure. He took less money.
It's a restructure.
Yeah, yeah. To get that, I think you're going to restructure Kenny Clark. You'll actually maybe something
Yeah.
similar there because he's not going to,
Mhm.
probably won't count 20 million against him. You might do the same thing with Rashawn Gary, right? And then you get
Getting rid of him.
Quinn Williams, and then like you said, George Pickens has to get a contract, right? And we see Alan Pierce gets the highest free agent contract for a wide receiver ever today to re-sign with the Colts. What is your feeling on where the Cowboys are with Pickens as far as a contract, and what would a number look like that they could settle on? Where are they at in the whole process?
Well, as you know, they gave him a tag, right? And that's what, 27.5 million?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
My math is right. So what did Pierce get today? He got on an average, that was about 28 million, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm George Pickens, I have better numbers than
Who
Pierce.
made All Pro?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're correct,
Yeah.
sir.
Mhm.
And I remember when they traded for Pickens, Pickens's people, I was talking to them when they first traded for him last spring, whenever it was. And they said, if we have a good year, we can get $30 million on average. This was last year before, he had a Pro Bowl season. So we saw what Pickens had, right? He had a fantastic year. And and you see what Pierce got. Maybe if I'm him, Pickens, I'm looking for at least 30 million to start the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Then this is how the talk, But they have not had any contract number. They haven't exchanged any numbers. The Cowboys and Pickens' people. So I think the Cowboys don't want to extend Pickens. They want Pickens to play on this 27.5, because they know he's a knucklehead, right? So
Oh, repeat that
well,
again. Repeat that again. He's a what?
he's a knucklehead.
Thank you.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm on the 51-49 opposite of that. See? Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
finish your point, then you
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
say your point.
yeah,
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that.
Uh-huh.
So I think you want him to play on this 1-year deal, which is the tag. Now they can renegotiate that 1-year deal. They can say, all right, we'll give you $30 million for 1 year. And who's going to turn down 30 million? Well, unless you're crazy.
Mhm.
So I think that's what's going to happen. I think that he's going to play on this tag, or they're renegotiating to give him a 1-year deal and see what happens. But they have not exchanged any numbers as of yet.
Okay.
So tell them what you said about George Pickens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Here we go.
Come on.
Pops, what you got for me, Pop?
I don't want him. I don't like the hood. I don't want the hood. I told him, I said, okay, 6 games in a row. That 7th game, he's got the hood over himself on the sideline, pouting. And the next 2 games, he's not showing up. And CeeDee Lamb is going to get pissed off about it. Move on. Here's the contract. I said, give him the 27. Here it is, Mr. Pickens. Take it or leave it. That's all. But I don't see the ingredient to win with players like that. Maybe I'm old fashioned. Maybe it is. It's too much me. It's too much me.
Okay. It's been a while since you've won, right?
Mhm.
So, I went back and forth on this throughout the whole year about Pickens, and then Brad Sham,
Yep.
versus Cowboys. One day I was in the meeting room, I was talking to Brad Sham about it, and I said, I don't think we should pay him. I don't think y'all should pay him. He goes, really? Yeah. I said, what do you think? He goes, I was like you, Cal. I was going back and forth on it, but now he was like, after I've seen the production, just pay him, deal with all the other stuff, being late to meetings, missed the team bus. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine that. But he's pouty. He's pouty. We've seen that. But they got a good receivers coach that kind of, and CD and Dak, they kind of kept them under control a little bit. So it worked. It worked for 1 year. Let's see if it works for a second year. But you don't think it will. So I don't know.
But here's my opinion.
Here we go.
You either, right, you have to draft elite receivers because they don't come available as free agents ever, right? A couple years ago, like, oh, T. Higgins is going to be a free agent. Yeah, T. Higgins never made the
Mm-hmm.
market, right? Who makes the market? You either got to trade your picks for him, like the Eagles did with AJ Brown,
Hmm.
or you're going to have to sign your own guy. Even Alec Pierce, he took less money to stay in Indy because he liked it there. When do
Hmm.
you get these elite receivers? And you know you have when you have him and CD, you have the best, in my opinion, the best wide receiver tandem in football. At worst, they're the second best to Chase and Higgins, though I think they're better when they're both healthy. So, when you're giving up what is perhaps the best position group in the game
Hmm.
for a significant downgrade. And now, don't get me wrong, we're glad that Ryan Flournoy had really had showed himself down the stretch.
Is your dad drinking coffee? Or is he drinking scotch? I'm just
Yeah,
making make
yeah, it's Irish coffee. Like,
Bourbon.
yeah, you're giving up one of the best position groups, and there's not like a trade value for him. Like, what are you going to get? You're going to get a compensatory third round pick the following year when he signs a mega contract for someone else because we know he'd signed a top end contract with somebody,
Mhm.
but you can't even recoup a third round pick, right? You couldn't trade him for a first rounder now or a
Now,
second rounder.
Calvin, do I have to do this to have to lay this on for my son? Listen, we got a little birdie tells us, teet, 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 don't do it. I got a little somebody in the air, teet, 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 don't do it, don't do it. And that little right there is always right. That little right there, you know who he is. I don't even
What
say, he says don't do it. Whatever that little bird says, we do.
is he Terrell Owens? Is he TO? Because we know TO was, let's just say, not the best person in the world. But man, he produced on the field, right? There's no doubt TO produced when he was with 49ers, Eagles, Cowboys, right? He produced. If George Pickens is TO, will you take that? That's the $30 million a year question, right?
Just give me a player that is like that and you've won.
Sure.
But so,
Name them.
but that's a little unfair because they haven't won in 30 years, right?
Right.
So that's a little unfair. But when they had, would you say he's more Dez than T.O.? Talk about Pickens. I'm asking you two.
Uh,
He's more T.O.
I think he's.
I'm a
Or
Des
I
T.O.?
fan.
Okay.
think personally
Yeah,
he's more.
yeah.
I think he's more as a person. I think
I
he's
know
more
Des
TO than
missed the
Des.
plane coming back from London. I get that. He had to sit up in the
He
plane.
cursed out Jason Garrett,
Yeah,
right?
for
We know that.
different reasons, but I think he was more competitive for the team than Pickens.
Yeah,
I would say Dez cared.
Yes. Yeah, that's the
Uh,
word. That's the
yeah,
better word. Yeah.
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 I think Pickens cares too. Um, but it's only been 1 year. So let's give him
yeah.
another year. Yeah.
I
I
never.
agree with you. That Dez cared more than Pickens. And I think Dez also knew people were watching him. So he had to like say, yo, I care. Don't mischaracterize me yelling and screaming as if it's about me. Some of it was about me,
Sure.
but I agree with you guys. He cared about the team.
I never doubted that Des Bryant wanted to win.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
never doubted that. It's right and it's reasonable to say I wonder with George Pickens whether he wants to win
Bingo.
or make his money. And
Two red flags.
that's
Bingo.
reasonable. That's reasonable to say. You
All that
lying to say
money,
you didn't at least
and then I got to
think
go to
about it.
school, and I got to go to school and hear this about these other players. Your Pickens, you got your Pickens, you got what you want, and got to hear that, got to defend all that. That's fine. Mhm.
Well, the draft is coming down here, and I seem to think that the draft is actually lining up. And again, we're talking about what are we doing? Who knows who will be there at 12, and we're
Mhm.
still a month out away from who knows what happens, right? We had the tackle from the Dolphins they picked up, who's Laramie Tunsil, who all of a sudden has the mask with the marijuana
Remember
mask
that one?
and
Yeah.
I
drops.
remember that was good. That was good. That's good
Right.
stuff right there, baby. That was good. I like that. That was
Yeah,
good.
If it happened to Jeremiah Love, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
mad.
yeah.
Out to Dallas, but I think Love is gone in that top five range. Mendoza's gone, Reese is gone.
The big
What about
tackle.
Sonny Styles? What about Sonny Styles?
Yo,
So there's
he's
a, I
gone.
think
Oh,
there's
he's
a
gone.
Sonny Styles. I think Sonny Styles is a perfect fit either in New York or Washington. Does New York try and draft Love if he's there? Do the Titans draft Love if he's there at 3? What do the Cardinals do? The Cardinals have so many holes, and they're rolling out. They're trying to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback next year. We get it. You're tanking for Arch Manning. We get it, right? Well, yeah, I understand. You got to rebuild somewhere. So do you rebuild? offensive line or defensive line? That's the $1 million question, right?
You think the Texas Tech edge rusher falls to 12 because he's got short arms?
That's Ruben Bain drops,
Yeah.
or David Bailey from Texas Tech. Just because you only need one of them to fall.
Only one.
Whether it's Caleb Downs or Bain or Bailey or Styles, right? And I think Styles is basically like a top 8 pick no matter
Oh,
what.
please.
Because he's
Styles is gone.
yeah,
Oh.
Styles is gone. Caleb Downs, does he drop to 12 because okay, well he's a little iffy because of the knee or whatever?
So Bain and Bailey, you think will be gone by 12?
I think it's possible that one of Baines, Bailey, or Downs is there at the 12th pick. I see I think Love is definitely off the board. I think the Giants, they made a push for Kenneth
Redskins
Walker.
are going to get one of those guys.
Well, again, if you're the Redskins, why wouldn't if you're the Commanders?
The Redskins to me.
If it's the Commanders, why wouldn't you take Sonny Styles is there at 8? I'm running to
gone.
Because they signed
You don't
Odafe
like-
Owe
you don't
today.
Corner? You don't like the corner from LSU? What's his name?
I don't dislike.
Delane?
Yeah, I don't
What's his name?
dislike him at all.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would gladly take him. It's going to again. We're all talking about depends on what else they're doing for agency, whatever. But
Yeah,
I don't
you only
see.
got the safety. You gave safety 3 years.
Yes,
Right.
Right. So, and down to think, unless you say we draft you, you're going to be a safety, and then Malik Hooker, you're gone in 2027, right?
Right.
So,
right. But
no,
I don't think that cornerback from LSU makes it past the Chiefs because now they've lost a couple cornerbacks that they
yeah.
I mean you again they could go offensive line too, but I think if he's at the table, LSU cornerback one of the Chiefs is like
they all go
peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah.
They just go together. I think these guys have an opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals saw David Bailey or Ruben Bain and ran to the front as well because their defense is perhaps just as bad or worse than the Cowboys.
So here's my I'm guaranteeing you they are moving out of the 12th pick. I'm putting it on the tables right now. 12th pick. Calvin, I'm guaranteeing a YO Ranch dinner. You know YO Ranch. You mean Parker Kung, because he's a pastor of the church. He can't get Sundays off, okay? Okay, he can't get Sunday. It's going to have to be a Thursday night game. YO Ranch, they move out of the 12th pick. They're going to move out of the 12th pick. Guarantee it.
I mean, yeah, it's easier said than done moving out of 12. Someone has to be willing to come up.
They're going to play. And it's enticing to move up to that 12th pick. Somebody underneath.
I think you're more likely to move out of 20 than 12. I think a team who's at, a late first round pick, I think the Chiefs are more likely to move up from that second first rounder that they got from the Rams and move up to Dallas and say, listen, we got our guy here at a 10 or 9. And what we can do now is we can move up to get Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, at 20 and say, we'll give you a first and a second there.
I'd take him.
Yeah, I mean,
who?
Yeah,
I'll take him. Mr. Stephen Jones, he likes doing little things off the charts.
you're gonna have to sign all the phrases in the world then.
I think it's so hard to
Justify
go a full day. No, I think it's so hard to go a full day without a draft pick. That's Friday. That's the second and third round.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now I know what you traded to get.
Yeah.
But we can give the 2 and the 3, but man, you got to wait a full. And I think if you trade out a pick, get rid of that 20th pick and get a 3 and a 5 or a 3 and a 6.
Right.
That might be easier to do. I gotta look at the trade chart to see.
Yeah. What's the value?
Jimmy Johnson trade chart.
Yeah.
They got some updated ones, but I know what you're saying about the 12th pick, but I think 20 might work better because I don't know about you guys. It's hard to sit there all day on Friday night.
Yes.
And you just
And they'll have the camera on those guys.
Yeah,
the camera's gonna leave because they're not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
right. You mean tell me Jerry and Steve are going to take a whole day off and just like sit there and hang out? I don't think so. I really think 20 is the spot where you trade down, and I would keep an eye on the Chiefs because I think they're the type of team who would be aggressive and say, look, we got Travis on a 1-year deal, right? They re-inked him. Kelsey had a 1-year deal at tight end. But Travis Kelsey is basically like Isaiah Pacheco at tight end now. He runs as if he's trying to dig for oil out there and stomp his feet in the ground. Like, my goodness. like they want to. I think they're going to try and revamp the offense to say, okay, a year with Kelsey, and you could do a year with Kelsey, a year with Sadiq, have a transition for post Kelsey offense and run two tight end set or whatever. Andy Reid could get the most out of it. What I am trying to say is that I think 20 is the position where you trade down and grab that third and fifth, or third. I'll take that absolutely.
Take that. Okay.
Okay,
Well,
but
maybe how about go ahead. Sorry.
so I'm saying 12 because I think it's better for somebody to move up close to the better pick. The 20th, I think it's a statistically logical. I'm going with 12 with a YO Ranch. Calvin, you been to YO Ranch downtown Dallas? Yeah, we go there.
No.
Oh, you've been there, right?
Oh,
Yeah, we go there.
yeah.
Anyway,
You go there all the time?
yeah, we go there all the time. So we might be going to a preseason game with my other son. He's a big Cowboy fan, Spencer. He has the 4 girls. His wife is in the Navy, serves the Navy. They're going to be in Corpus Christi. So we'll be in Dallas. So we'll hook up for something.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll hook up for something.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it was good.
Listen, I have one more question before you go. Is there any one player? Listen, we all love Trey Hendrickson, don't get me wrong. Is there any one player, either via the draft or specifically free agency, you're like, man, if Dallas got him, that would be a huge win for the Cowboys?
Coming to free agency?
If you could see free agency, the draft guys, who's there, you can only pick from. But free agency, outside of Trey Hendrickson, is there someone you'd be like, man, if they snagged him still with whoever's left, that'd be a big pickup?
All the big names, quote unquote, because this is such a weak class, free agency class, have been snagged up. Hendrickson, his age, he's 31, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe 32 in December. I'm not a big fan of his. I think the Cowboys, he has some health issues toward the end of the year. There's nobody I can see on the market right now. I gotta look at the list.
Yeah.
Some of the guys that have been pulled off today, but I don't see anybody that would wow me right now. I thought Nakobe Dean was a sure fit for them
too.
People talked about Blankenship from Philly as a possibility.
He just signed with the Texans, actually.
Right, yeah, he just signed with the Texans. I thought Singleton in Denver. I thought he might be a good fit at backer, but I think he re-signed with Denver, I think.
Yep.
So but a lot of guys I think they targeted are not getting snatched up. I like Malcolm Kuntz, who re-signed with Oakland, Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
But I think he's a little too small. I think a lot of guys that we projected them to look at before they hired Christian Parker, now that they hired Christian Parker, they want big guys and they want position flex guys in the secondary. So if you're not that, you're not coming to Dallas.
We went to Dallas one time. They thought Paul was Bobby Carpenter. Look at him.
Yeah.
No way.
They're like,
maybe your hair was down to your shoulders.
Yeah. They're like, good luck today, Bobby. We're like, all right. And my uncle's like, just tell him thanks. And I said, oh, thanks, guys. People go, good luck, Bobby. Good luck. So, which is why I think the Cowboys, if you a name to keep an eye on for free agency, Leo Chanel, the linebacker who had played with the Chiefs, he's 6'3", 250, a big boy, got a good nose for the ball. With the linebacker options kind of drying up. Now, I also think that's a place where
they need a mic, right? They definitely need a mic, right?
Exactly. And but linebacker is a position I feel most comfortable in, probably for the draft at 12 or 20, that they could find a linebacker, especially 12.
Right. AJ Allen.
CJ Allen.
CJ.
So CJ Allen. So
CJ.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where you get your mic from is in the draft, right?
Right. Yeah, Georgia got.
Drafts another position.
You like the kid from the Giants, Bobby
Okereke.
Okereke.
Oh, I love that.
But I thought he signed.
Did
he signed with?
He signed somebody. Okay.
Yeah, I think
okay. He signed. He's gone.
Yeah, he actually got the 4th highest deal for a linebacker. He just signed with was it the Colts who signed with? Oh my gosh, who did he just sign with? Man. I thought he just signed.
We were at the playoff game when Rodgers made the throw down the sideline to the tight end that set up the score. We were there. I stood there. I was like in shock.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Titans signed Bobby Okereke a 3-year, $45 million deal. So he's the 4th highest paid linebacker. As soon as he was released, I was like, get him.
Yeah.
The Giants signed Tremaine Edmonds instead, but we like
what
Bobby.
What about Levante? I don't think Levante David got signed, or Bobby Wagner, right?
No, neither of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you go old, but they've gone older. They're not older, but they've gone with veteran Mike linebackers the last 2 years. It didn't work out. So maybe you solve this problem in the draft. Maybe you
Yeah.
get your Mike in the draft. Because I really thought that Dean or Wilson was guys that they liked.
Yeah.
They did like him, but they obviously couldn't get the deal done.
Right, right. Now we have 4 minutes left, and we always end with one thing. You shout out. You want to say hello to anybody, or say you appreciate anybody on the show. Like, anybody you want to shout out here while you're on the podcast, real quick.
Shout out to you two guys. And it's hard doing a podcast. What you do once a week, sometimes twice a week. It's hard doing it because you got to come up and talk about stuff for an hour.
Yeah.
You got to market the podcast. It can be tough.
We have fun.
I commend you guys for keeping it up because it can be tough to do this thing.
We appreciate. Listen, season 6. We're over 70 episodes.
Yeah.
We just have
That's
a good
good.
time, man. We've
Good,
gone through.
that's good.
I've had 3 kids in the meantime.
Yeah, you got
Three
kids.
grandsons
and
for you.
I got 5 granddaughters, 4 grandsons. Yeah.
Among the 70 episodes, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah. So we're
I'm
just
shouting out my favorite cowboy name is Tony Dorsett. That's the best cowboy name that is.
Mhm.
Tony Dorsett is the best. How about us, huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love
I'm
it.
shouting out my boy, former friend from college, Dion Anderson, who used to play for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
He
Dion.
was
Cricket
awesome.
Anderson.
Yeah.
We're a Husky through and through here,
Yeah,
baby. I'm a Husky all the
yeah.
way.
I see the Husky. I see the Husky.
UConn. How about
Give us a
I'm
UConn?
all
ticket.
Deanna. I'm
UConn
all Cricket
athlete.
Anderson. We go fullback.
He was a good, he was nasty. He was awesome. In college, you knew what hit Di. He was tough as nails. So he was a good egg, man. I hope he's doing well wherever he is. So listen, if you're watching this, we're putting this out tomorrow. So if you're watching, like, share, subscribe, find us on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, whatever. And we'll keep it up. Cowboys and Coffee. Talk to you guys later. Calvin, thank you so much.
Thanks, Calvin.
Thanks, guys. Let's do
Have
it
a great
again.
day, man.
You
All right.
too.